Приветствуем. Ну что ж. Это рано или поздно нам позволит вернуться в предыдущие районы, так как, во-первых, это видно по карте, а во-вторых, здесь очень немало таких людей, с которыми, я так понимаю, надо будет поговорить. Кстати, у нас тут есть, я так понимаю, больной. Ему нужно средство от переутомления. Но нам не говорят, кто это. Что ж, пока что будем помогать врачу.
We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
А, даже так. Хорошо. Пройдемся вдоль набережной. Что?
Nah, it's my turn.
Rotten or perceive, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Интересный вариант ответа. Но в любом случае попросим быть повежливее.
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Так, качество крови. В это уже указывалось. Качество крови указывает на то, сколько опыта вы получите в этого горожанина. Чем выше качество крови, тем больше опыта получите. Загипнотизировать. Чтобы выпить кровь человека, сначала нужно загипнотизировать его и увести подальше от посторонних глаз. Если ваш уровень гипноза равен уровню сопротивления жертвы или превосходит его, вы можете получить контроль над ее разумом. Нажмите Q, чтобы загипнотизировать Клея. А зачем? Я, к примеру, не собираюсь его сейчас, как бы сказать, устранять. Подробнее? Кто это, неизвестно. Только имя не знаем. Тем не менее, он числится за больницей. Хорошо, допустим.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Ясно. То есть в данном случае моего решения даже не спрашивают. Немножко печально. Искушение крови. Нажмите. Что? У меня немножко другая клавиша показана. Чтобы объять Клея Кокса или отпустить его. Объяв его, вы получите много единиц опыта, но помните, это приведет к определенным последствиям. Чем больше вы узнаете о горожанах и чем больше собираетесь связанных с ними подсказок, тем больше получен опыт. Так, сейчас мне немножко не ясно. Обнять это значит просто выпить кровь или обратить? Слишком уж не ясно. Но в любом случае я планирую его отпустить. Неохота рисковать раньше положенного срока.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Замечательно. А ничего, что он только что был очень-очень ранен? Так, минуточку. Сейчас проверим. Ничем не болеет? Никакой информации про ранения.
What happened?
Ну, хорошо. Продолжаем прогулку.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Кто нам там так настреляет? Ну, в принципе, можно догадаться, но все равно. А, здесь закрыто. Ладно. Попробуем подняться с той стороны. Алюминиевый порошок. Ладно, осмотреться еще успеем.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Так, что мы можем узнать? Ну, наверняка лучшие обстановки в больнице.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Ну что ж, все обсудили. Дифференцировать не надо. Подробнее есть маленькая зацепка. Да. Хорошо, значит, у нас есть возможность поговорить с Гнем Браннагом. Это может быть интересно. А следует ли задавать личные вопросы? Ну, немножечко попытаемся. Ха. Без подсказок не вопрос.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Ну, в принципе, это достаточно верно. Да, простите, если я слишком громко говорю. Просто меня уже в очередной раз везет записывать все это ночью, да еще будучи немножко застуженным.
Hurry now, Doctor. It's freezing here.
Простите, мадам. Небольшая привычка со старой работы.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Что ж, приятно знать, что там пареньки не забыли.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Уже объяснили.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Yes.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Так, новое расследование. Полночь в саду добра и зла. Доступ новое расследование. Откройте и посмотрите. Расследование. Расследование, которое вам доверяет управление рассортированным по районам. Чтобы приступить к заданию, выберите его. Да. После этого на карте отобразится область, которую нужно исследовать. Информация. Так, ну, здесь, как вы понимаете, описывается информация, которую он нам уже сообщил. Ну, в сад за больницей, мы, думаю, успеем. И, по крайней мере, недаром, оказывается, мы с ними всеми беседуем. Я думаю, они только зацепки оставят. Но нет. Дают навык на расследование.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Насколько я понимаю, личный вопрос слышит только через подсказку.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Мы будем только смотреть. Хорошо. Вот улучшение, да. Возможно, они нам и будут куда-нибудь по карману. Здесь никого. Нет, казалось. Я даже догору, зачем здесь этот закуток. Так, больше сотрудников где-то.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised. But I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them? Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Ясно. Подсказка.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Что ж, будем уважать ее мнение и позицию.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Так, минуточку. А какой медсестре говорил? Так. А, это же она была. Надо попытаться с ней еще раз переговорить. Надеюсь, она
Good
не
evening,
засадится.
Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Прекрасно. Будем надеяться, нам это пригодится в случае чего.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Или хотя бы даст возможность получить дополнительную информацию. Интересно, интересно. Этот город нуждается в тебе. Город в тебе. Человек, вовремя получивший медицинскую помощь, это та самая эпидемия. Требуются волонтеры. Так,
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Очень интересный вопрос. Меня интересует жизнь в Лондоне у столь своеобразной личности. Пока что нам особо много неизвестно. Но думаю, что-то мы узнаем.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Ясно. В данном случае мы сами себе дали подсказку.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Расследование. Так, ладно, сейчас, наверное. Выяснится, что за Тельмой. Тельма Хогров, безумная пациентка Пембургской больницы. Она убеждена в том, что уже умерла и стала нежитью. И теперь не может выбраться из гниющего тела. Несмотря на то, что у этой женщины очевидный проблем с психикой, она утверждает, что какие-то люди считают ее вампиром, поэтому следят за ней. Может, она имеет в виду стражей Привена? Нельзя допустить, чтобы эти охотники обыскивали больницу. Возможно, мне стоит проследить за этими охотниками и вытащить от них, и защитить от них Тельму Хоукрафт. Любопытно. Ну, лишних вопросов. Ладно, пока задавать не будем.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Без иронии. Так. Да. Чувствую, здесь большая часть происходящего будет заключаться в том, что мы будем беседовать со всеми, до кого дотянемся. Требуются медсестры. Их жизнь зависит от тебя. Требуются медсестры. Обращайтесь в ближайшее представительство Министерства труда или пишите по адресу Лондон, Кингуэйс 15.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Не знаю, сугубо с моей точки зрения, раны могли быть куда ужаснее, чем я на нем наблюдаю.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
Так, не со всеми можно поговорить. Это тот самый, кого мы спасали. Полагаю, лишним не будет.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Кокс? А как звали того, кого мы нашли? Недалеко от больницы. Количество вопросов у нас вроде быть не может. Ну, странно, почему-то есть. Значит, не все они зависят от зацепок.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Ясно.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Поговорим там позже. Не успеем ли мы добраться до своего кабинета? Это, кажется, все та же пациентка. Интересует, да.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Ладно, взять на заметку, не пытаться смотреть на стены в присутствии персонажей. Не кашляйте в общественных местах. Берегите свое и чужое здоровье. Плюясь, чихая и кашляя, вы распространяете инфлюенцию. Болезнь распространяется с капельками, вылетающими из носа и горла. Не кашляйте в общественных местах. Это, кажется, наш врач. В смысле, с ним уже говорили? Или с этим? Надо будет включать. Ладно. Наверное, с ним уже в следующий раз. Но надо сначала заглянуть в кабинет на втором этаже. Нагрето здесь немало. А, кстати. Сказали, что на дверях уже табличка с нашим именем. Достаточно быстро они сориентировались.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Да. Ну, разумеется, верстак. Ну и, как бы сказать, рабочее место. Чтобы получить новый рецепт, нужно проанализировать найденные ингредиенты. Нажмите на соответствующую кнопку рядом с ними. Слабая сыворотка регенерации. Моментально на 300 единиц, затем 150 до 15 секунд. Интересно. Я понял, пока что больше ничего мы от этого не добьемся. Можно... еще и продавать можно и разобрать. Пока что, скорее всего, трогать не будем. Только в случае необходимости.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Он не договорил. Хотя, может, мне просто показалось. Приятная неожиданность. Что ж, как и сказал наш доктор, близится рассвет. Надо немного отдохнуть. Значит, на этом пока что все.